So now the disabling tutorial. So in other words, this is when you want to disable an enemy ship and board it, much like in escape velocity. And they're pointing out that this is a bit different in how it's implemented though. So stress damage is what causes ships to become disabled. Regular damage does not. So you need to use ion cannons or some other weapon which will not completely destroy the enemy ship, but will simply disable it or immobilize it. So and here I'm running into the sticky keys problem finally with the secondary weapons. That is really irritating. There it is again. I mean, you could remap that key in the preferences. That's one option to solve the problem, certainly. So, they're saying the target's armor bar filled up with a different color while you were shooting at it. This is how stress damage is represented in the game. Stress damage builds up the armor bar until all remaining armor is filled with stress damage. So, now I'll attempt to board it. That's done the same way as in escape velocity. You have to line yourself up with the ship and hit the B key. But in this case, I'm being attacked to demonstrate how you can be disabled in the game. I'm not really sure if I understand the point of this segment. It just seems like obvious, like something you don't learn anything from. And they point out time compression automatically kicks in when you are disabled, which I guess makes the game less tedious, because you have to wait for rescue, I suppose. Then the planetary screen, so in other words, the screen that you get when you land on a planet. So this is reasonably sophisticated. We're going to land on this planet here, Paul 2 from earlier. And you notice the tabs down in the lower left. Those are the tabs for the main landing screen, the spaceport bar, the missions, the outfits, shipyard, and equipment is what you have on board the ship. So it's almost the equivalent of the I key when you're flying around. And then the commodity thing there is the commodities exchange. And all of these are, other than the equipment screen, are things that you had in the original escape velocity. And of course, the only reason they have the equipment screen in this is there's the mission computer, incidentally. Previously they had the bar. And they have a lot of outfits you can buy. That's one really rich point of this game. A lot of choice of outfits. And the maps are very specific. You can buy them for different regions of space, which is important because you can't really do without them, unlike in escape velocity. And then the shipyard view, no ships to view. And here's the equipment view. And so here they want you to install outfits on your ship. And I actually struggled with this a little bit, to be honest. There's a lot of right-clicking involved, and I just got totally confused. But much like in Endless Sky, you have to think about the energy of your ship, including your CPU capacity, as well as the heat you're going to be generating with each of these outfits. So it's a more complicated consideration than an escape velocity, because an escape velocity, all you're really thinking about is how much free space you have, or free mass it's also called, where it's only that many tons of space for outfits. You notice there are the 3 slots there, for weapons, utilities, and structure. And the structure basically means armor and engines. And anything that fits into those categories has to go in the correct slot. And in addition, you need to have at least 2 structure components and at least 1 utility. You can go without weapons. They let you build a ship without weapons if you want. But I'm going to attempt here to install these, and I'm going to have quite a lot of trouble actually, because I don't grasp right away that I was supposed to be using right click. I figured out at least you have to unequip first, unload everything. There we go. And so I look for the better of the options that they're offering, because I didn't make note of that earlier. It's another mistake. I want something that's better than what went in previously. So for some reason I got the core system right the first time. I'm not really sure how. Next I'll want to upgrade the engine. And then I start to struggle because I can't figure out how to install it in the slot. And the answer is you need to use the right click. But here I'm struggling with it, fumbling around because I'm not used to the interface. There are the armor plates, so I want the better of those 2. So I'm attempting to install those to see if I have any better luck. And bottom line is you still need right click for that. So I was confused about that. It took me a while. Obviously the green circle means you may install in this location. If it's the red circle with the line through it, obviously you can't use that slot for the outfit that you've selected from your inventory. So I got quite confused about this, no question. So then I start looking at the types of outfits. Notice that they're either all displayed at once or else sorted by category under the different tabs there. So the core outfits are the ones that are in those upper left 3 squares that you must have. See, so now I'm finally figuring it out with the right click. So install these weapons, select that, select the other. I guess they're not as finicky about those. They just put them right in for you. The cargo pod probably goes in structure, I was figuring, and I was right. And I put in a jammer. And that's it. I leave a slot empty and my ship is all loaded up and ready to go. Fully upgraded. Then, of course, I just jump into the commodities exchange there just to take a look at it. I don't actually do any trading because this is only a tutorial. So finally, I take off, and now one more part before we're done.